Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host Maxine and we're on episode 164. Let's start off with these braids that I got in. Hello, call me Cleo. Call me Cleo from Set It Off. I'm setting it off on you bitch. I'm setting it off. I look the fuck good. I really do. You know, I love me some braids. But I don't love getting my hair done. I don't love getting my hair done. As much as I do appreciate my 4C texture, thick, kinky, Haitian, ancestral hair that I have, I am grateful. But damn, I hate getting it done. I hate having to give a disclaimer to anyone who touches my hair. It's like I'm the only person in the world who has thick ass hair. Like, come on. And for me to go to African braiders, like, first of all, y'all invented thick, kinky hair. Like, why are you so shocked when you touch my roots? It's really annoying. But again, you know, they're the best. Honestly, I just experienced the best braid style when I go to Africans and when I go to the specific African shop. So, you know, I'll still go to them. Doesn't matter. But it's just every time, where is the justice for 4C hair women? Seriously, where's the t-shirt that says, and maybe I need to create it, that says something like justice for 4C hair? You know, I've always wanted my own personal stylist, not just like clothes, but specifically for hair. I want my own hairstylist who will come to my place of residence and provide me with the hairstyle of my desire, who knows how to treat my hair, who is accustomed and embracing of my hair, and who appreciate hair like mine. I just feel like at this point in my life, I'm 31 years old, and throughout my life, like historically, I've experienced stylists who are just so shocked of the thickness of, like, and you would think my hair is like, so it's regular thick hair. Like, what? Have you been styling white women only? Like, hello? Even like coming, you know, that critique coming from particularly like Black women, African women, other Haitian women. It's like, first of all, have you seen your hair? Hello? Have you seen your own hair? Oh no, you haven't because it's always under some wigs? Huh? It's just so funny to me. Like, I'm at the shop, at the salon, not the shop. I'm not at a barber shop. At the shop with LeBron. No, I'm at the salon, the braiding salon. All the hairstyle, most of them. Let me just be specific. The one who was styling my hair, granted, she does a great job. I appreciate her experience, her credentials, all yada yada yada. Let's get that out the way. Her hair don't look too great. Hello? Is the mic on? Her hair isn't like 5-star hair. And honestly, the critique is the best stylists are the ones who don't have great hair. I know that sounds so far-fetched or like asinine or whatever, but seriously, the best hairstylists are the ones with just breaking hair. Seriously, all the hairstyles that I've had historically haven't had the best hair. You know, their hair was either falling out, they had no edges, their hair was just like super brittle, it was never styled. Like, I've never seen a really like luxurious, natural haired, and let's make that very specific too, because you may say, oh, well, my stylist, she got weave on. No offense to weave wearers, but the point is, I want to see your natural hair. Is that hair healthy? Okay, then that's a different perspective, right? But oftentimes, the ones with broken natural hair are the best stylists, which is just the irony for me. And the best salons to go to are the ones that are infiltrated with hookers. What do I mean, What do you mean, Maxine? The braiding salon that I go to, right on the sidewalk, there's bare ass showing, hoping to get a come up. Okay? Every time I drive into the lot, I am bombarded with prostitutes. Oh, what are we going to say 2022? Sex workers, pleasure seekers, I don't know, but hookers. I am bombarded with ass out. When it's 3 p.m, it's 7 a.m, I am consistently bombarded with hookers every time I attend this braiding salon. I just got a text. Oh, this is a funny text. Boss baby. So yeah, like I feel like ultimately the best salon to go to is the one that's in the hood, because they know how to survive. They know how to survive. They know how to provide quality service in order to really attract more customers in spite of their environment. They are able to still attract customers because they provide quality service every time. So anyway, this stylist who was doing my hair brittle as fuck, no, like none, like straight bald on the side, straight bald. Like, okay. So she's styling my hair. And mind you, the past couple of months, my hair has been in the style of a silk press. And for my 77% male listeners, a silk press is basically when you go to the salon, you get a wash, deep condition, you then get your hair blow dried in sections, and then you get your hair pressed with a flat iron, in which the stylist will then ask the question, how straight do you want it? Do you want bounce? Yada, yada, yada. And I wanted minimal bounce at this, for this style. And so my hair was mostly straight, but it had some bounce to it. But yeah, that is the style. That is the name for it. So my hair has been in heat for a few months now. And with natural hair, it's always recommended to withdraw from heat as much as possible. And if you need to put heat on, do it in a way that is not as intense. So because of the heat, my hair is like, when I was washing it on my own in preparation for my braids, it is like, it reverts back to its natural state, but it takes more washes for it to fully get back to its natural curl, for it to revert back to it. But my hair is still natural. It's still fine. It's still fine. The point is though, like when you wash it, sometimes the ends are straight. And I hate when people be like, oh, that means your hair's broken off, and that means you had heat damage. No, the fuck it doesn't. No, it just means my hair still thinks it's straight. But now I'm telling my hair, hey, you're not straight anymore. You're going back to curly. My hair is just adjusting. Like, it has nothing to do with, oh, that means you should have never put heat in your hair. Heat damage. Shut the fuck up. Like, you can't win with any of this. Like, it's always some shit with, like, natural hair. Oh, your hair's too thick. You got to put a texturizer. Oh, your hair's too thick. You got to put some perm on or relaxer if you're black, right? You can't say perm if you're not black. If you're black, yeah, you can't say perm. But the point, like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop scaring people with their hair. Stop. So I'm seated in the chair, and I do my best to blow dry my hair prior, like right after I washed it myself in preparation for these braids. because the goal is to not arrive to the salon with not tangled hair, and with not like super, like, unmanageable hair. Like, yeah, comb it out and blow drying it out helps make it manageable and easier to style when it comes to braids and X, Y, and Z. So I did my best. I blew dry it out after I washed it. But of course, my roots are still very thick because that's just my fucking hair. That's just my beautiful hair. Praise to my hair. I don't mean to say fucking. So anyway, I'm seated. She's braiding my hair. Oh, and by the way, I am very tender-headed. I was never a fan of like getting my hair pulled in the throes of sex. Like, what are you doing up there? Like, why you gotta touch my hair? I don't think I've ever experienced that though. No, I think one guy tried years ago, and I had to stop mid-session. Like, hold on. What we're not going to do is tug anything on my head. I don't even care if I had a mouchoir on. A mouchoir is a head wrap for, those who don't speak Haitian Creole. Don't touch anything on my head. Especially while we're in the throes of love making. What are you doing? So, yes, I am very, very tender-headed. Like, to the point where it might be a condition. Like, at this point, you would think it was like a thing that you kind of grow out of, right? You're a kid and you're experiencing just like, discomfort whenever your mom is braiding your hair or styling your hair in whatever style, and you're just like, kind of like annoyed, like, oh, mom, I want to play outside. No. I am 31 and I'm in the chair moving around like a child. Like, I have no sense. I'm moving my head in a position, kind of like moving away from her hand. Like, that's just like my natural instinct to do because of the pain. It pains me, especially in the center of my head, especially. I was told one time by a braider who did my hair like years ago. She was like, the reason why you're so tender-headed is because your hair is super thick and your scalp doesn't get much exposure because of the thickness of your hair, right? And so because of that lack of exposure for your scalp, it makes your scalp tender. Now, I've been meaning to do some research about this because I just really do wonder, like, what's going on. And I feel like sometimes, like, the reaction that I receive from stylists who's doing my hair is like, why? What's going on? Like, they're just so taken aback that I could be so tender-headed, or like maybe I'm being dramatic. Like, I promise you I'm not making this up. I promise you I'm not, like, I don't desire to give you a hard time. Like, this is not a pleasurable experience for me. But I do it because it brings me great results. I love getting braids, and I got to get my hair done. So that's why I still do what I do, and I just kind of suck it up. I was focusing on my breathing when I was getting my hair braided yesterday in hopes that would help. I think it helped a little bit, but ultimately it just is what it is. I am tender-headed. Anyway, I want to talk about black hair and the boundary, or not even the boundary. I think the word is like the invisible line of, is it professional or is it not? And I think, okay, so I know I came on this podcast many episodes ago, on many episodes, sharing my qualms and my poor experiences of feeling uncomfortable in workspaces because I was rocking my natural hair, and I was like, it was still in the beginning of the trend or of the movement of wearing natural hair, of black women wearing their natural hair out. And so my white colleagues were taken aback and even some of my black colleagues who were still, under the guise of not of not appreciating their blackness ultimately. And so looking at a black woman appreciating her blackness and rocking her blackness, which is in the manifestation of rocking your natural black hair, I was still met with resistance, for sure. So not just from my white colleagues, but from my black colleagues as well. Especially my black male colleagues, which is interesting. But anyway, I came on here. I'm actually very parched. I should have got some water, but we're going to push through. I came on this very podcast talking about, it's not okay to make black women feel uncomfortable for wearing their natural hair. It's not okay for, just creating a space of just discomfort overall for black women if they so choose to wear their natural hair in whatever capacity. And, and black hair isn't unprofessional. Like, I shouldn't have to cover it up with a wig in order to be treated respectfully in the workspace. All of that is true, right? It still is true. But I'm here to share the uncomfortable truth that there's a fucking limit to it. There's a limit. There's a limit to it. There's a boundary to it. I think on one hand, you should be embraced to wear your natural hair as a black woman, right? But on the other hand, there is the reality of, which is a reality that some people don't want to accept, that black people don't want to accept, that there is the reality of unkept hair that is just literally roll off the bed and unpresentable. There's a difference, right? Like, me coming into work wearing my braids, my fresh braids, is not unprofessional, right? Me wearing my well-shaped afro in a twist out hairstyle and my bantu knots, that's not unprofessional. But what is unprofessional and what is unkept is when you're walking out of your house and everything is just matted. Hello, is it Mike? Please don't lose me, black women. Black women, stay on. Seriously, I think this is a conversation that needs to be had in the black community. Wear your natural hair, absolutely, but comb it. Hello? Comb it. Run a comb through it once or twice. Put in a bun, put in a ponytail. But some of these hairstyles that I've been seeing lately, I'm just taken aback. And I'm the same woman here who's been talking about accept black women's hair, black women's natural hair. I have these new security guards here at my complex. And I really, really miss the old security guards who were actually security guards, like who actually did this shit for a living, who actually could hold a gun and use it properly, who I could actually say I feel safe around, if, God forbid, I'm in a situation where my life is in danger. I felt safe around my previous security guards who weren't even secure, like they were police officers, like they were actually of law enforcement. These niggas who are downstairs now, I want to know who's your mama. Like, I feel safe. I will feel more safe in the presence of their mothers rather than them who are in this position of security. These niggas here just like literally roll off the bed, coming into work, looking mad dry. Did you put lotion on your face? And I don't recommend putting lotion on your face, but like, what's your skincare routine? Like, did you wake up today? Did you put some Vaseline on? Did you put some lotion on your fucking fingertips? Like, you know how some men, but like, just in general, like people who don't put lotion on their hands and in between each finger is that Ash? Did you even do that? Did you come to work prepared? No, you did not. You woke up. You probably didn't even put deodorant on. You rolled out of bed and you come to work. And every time I see you at work, quote unquote, right, at this location, because you're not really working, you're on your phone. Now, granted, we live in a digital space. I get it. Like, there's a lot of business on the phone, right? Ultimately, that is something that we have to accept as just citizens of this world. People are on their phone, and it just is what it is. It's not always going to be a thing of, of unprofessionalism. But I feel like with certain positions, like security, I should not always witness you on your phone scrolling. You're not doing something like you're not scrolling to see the next footage to make sure every resident is safe. No. You're scrolling on your phone because you're on Instagram, checking out the next ass that pops up on your feed so you could double tap that picture. That's what you're doing. Hello? Can you secure the space that I'm living in? Can you secure my dwelling? No? It's so strange to me. Like, every time I walk down the stairs, I see these niggas. And they're on their phones. They're, like, when I tell you they're not even properly, like, there's a uniform that they wear, which, okay, cool, I appreciate the uniform. But it's barely fitted, barely tucked in. Their shirt is kind of half tucked. I could really see your boxers. Like, if I wanted to look, I could find your boxers because your shirt is not properly tucked. What are you doing? Tie is not even properly tied in. So that's part of the physical appearance that I'm experiencing from these security officers, right? To add on to it, their hair. This one there's a couple of them that I noticed with the same critique that I have. This one black guy, every time I see him, he's in these two dookie braids, like cornrow braids. Yeah, cornrow braids, and they're both frizzy as fuck. Like, it's time for you to comb it out and get it rebraided. And if you don't want to do that, if you're tired of doing that, then just shave it off and wear a haircut, sir. You could get a Caesar. Get a Caesar. Like, every time I see him, his hair is always frizzy. The corner of his lips super dry and crusty. Are you here to secure my dwelling? Are you here to secure me? Like, or can you secure yourself? Like, and that's the thing. I feel like at the very least, as a security officer, a security guard, and even with police officers as well, you need to look the part. You have to look well polished. Like, looking all fucking drag. What? So that's one guy I see. This other guy, the same. He got this big ass afro, which, again, embrace your natural hair, yada yada yada. I still, stand on that. But why your hair just always kind of like ragged? Huh? Can you explain that? Can you get a fresh twist out? Like, there's a difference, y'all. Like, please get this very clear. I have students, right? I have one student in particular, of course I'm not going to say his name, but he wears his hair twisted out sometimes, and sometimes he leaves it in twists. It looks fresh. And when it's in a twist out afro, it's fresh. Like, you could tell it's well taken care of, it's well kept, it's well maintained, right? So there's a way to wear your natural hair. Like, I encourage you to wear your natural hair as Black people. I encourage that. But wear it kept. Wear it maintained. Don't put on your security officer outfit and your hair you barely picked it out. Where's your afro pick? Pick it out. Like, one side of his head is matted because he didn't pick it out this morning. What are we talking about? You supposed to secure my dwelling? Are you supposed to secure my dwelling, sir? It's just very strange to me. Like, it's I get it, affirmative action, woo, but like at this point, at least try. Like, at least try to look like you give a fuck. Your hair is a part of your face, right? Like, it's the first thing we see, along with your eyes, along with your smile, right? And so when your hair is not kept, when it's not maintained, it definitely sets an impression that is often negative. I'm going to say it. And cancel me if you want. Cancel me if you want to. But seriously, that's really how I feel. And I just don't understand how these niggas, they probably don't have any girlfriends. They probably don't have a mother who like cares about them. It has to be that, because at the very least, like, I feel like if you have a female partner, your partner will be like, hey, let me just help you out real quick. Come here before you leave the house. I have this other black guy who works downstairs, and he wears his natural hair. He actually has locks, and he looks well kept. He well keeps his locks. Like, you could tell he maintains them. He keeps up with his appointments, his hair appointments. His hair is properly lined around his like, he gets a fresh cut around, like, on his edges, and his locks are put up into a bun, is freshly twisted. Like, it's nice. Like, that's how it should look like. Like, come on, man. And it's like, oh, well, how come we don't say this to white men or white? Because I think the same still applies. Don't get me wrong. The same still applies to white men. Like, but oftentimes you don't see white men with, yes, there are white men with like curly hair, kind of like, beachy, yeah, bro, hair. But at the very least, like, if they get their hair curled, it's like a fresh curl, and it looks fresh. It looks maintained. And that is just, that's good. That's how it should look. So let's get your fucking hair done, dog. Just get it done. I don't know. Do you want my black card now? Like, did I lose my black card? I'm dead ass, but whatever. It's really how I feel. I encourage black people to rock their natural hair and maintain it. Keep it up. Like, just comb it a bit. Like, just, and I'm saying this as a woman of 4C hair texture, kinky, ancestral hair. Just keep it up, dog. And I'm not saying this like, oh, well, you gotta have your edges laid. I'm not even into edges laid. Like, as soon as my edges like ruffles up, like reverts back into its curly state, I'm not pressed to get edge control and comb it down so it's sleek. Like, I'm not a big proponent of sleek edges type of thing. Depending on the style, I guess, but it's not like, it doesn't dictate my beauty. But at the very least, dog, just like, pick out your hair. Pick out your fucking hair. Just pick out your hair. I was at this ghetto ass Wingstop. I will never go to this location again. Never in Houston again. And I, came at a time when all the baby kids came out because it was school release time. And it's in the vicinity of a public school. As I was driving there, I drove past what looked to be projects. I'm not a Houston native, so I'm not sure what is considered projects here, but it looked like a project. And I'm like, damn, that should have been enough for me to fucking go back. But I was wanting for some Wingstop, and this was the Wingstop that was near to me. So I went. And I should have known. Another sign was when I was opening the door or attempting to open the door to this Wingstop, it was closed. And I'm like, huh? I definitely see people inside. The person behind the registry had a registrar, whatever, had to buzz me in. She had to press a button in order for me to be buzzed in so I could open the door and come inside. If that's not an indicator that I'm in the wrong place, right? If that's not an indicator that I should not be here, then I don't know what is. That should have been enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm going to go somewhere else. Or, yeah, I'm just going to go to the grocery store, get some food, and cook instead. But I was already there. Whoop-de-whoop. I'm in there, place my order. I noticed there's this crazy guy, and I spot crazy a mile away. You just have a sixth sense when it comes to spotting crazy. That's how it is for me. Like, I could spot when someone's off their rocker as a sixth sense. Like, it's really a special gift. It really is. Like, growing up in Boston, like, I didn't grow up in the hood, but I didn't grow up in a well-to-do area. Like, it wasn't, like, luxurious, but it wasn't, like, beat down. I didn't grow up in the projects. I grew up in a working-class neighborhood. And despite it being a working-class neighborhood, I still was in the presence of niggas. Like, at the very least, you know, whether it's homeless people or just people on the streets, people of the streets. Like, that was my encounter very regularly growing up in Boston, in Dorchester. So anyway, I come across just like, and well, anyway, I lost my train of thought. Where was I? So I'm in this Wingstop. So yeah, my point is, like, I could spot a crazy person a mile away, and I know how to act around them. Like, I know what to do, what not to do. I know not to hold any eye contact with people, and that's probably, like, affected relationships to this day, because I am not quick to hold eye contact unless, like, I'm being intentional with it. But otherwise, I'm gonna look at you until I don't have to anymore, right? And even then, I'm barely looking at you. It's just always been a thing to protect myself from, because I just remember growing up, when you look at someone, even if it's just like a quick glance, that quick glance could turn into someone in your face trying to pop off, trying to challenge you. You got a staring problem, you got an eye problem. What's up? What you looking at? And it's like, damn, there was a sign above your head. I was reading the sign, man. Damn, man. So that was my experience a lot growing up. So I've just grown into someone who just hasn't looked at someone in their eye in a long time, consistently. It's just been a thing. So yeah, and you know, oftentimes that reaction comes from those who are just mentally impaired. So there was this, like, mentally impaired person at the Wingstop, seated, and he just had a staring problem. Instantly, when I noticed it, I was like, okay, don't look over there anymore, Maxine. And so I didn't. But I was hearing his presence, okay? He was talking to him, like, he was just with himself, like, and I'm purposely saying with, because he was talking out loud to himself, and he probably thought he was with someone else, or that himself, like, he's also, like, of two people, you know? So anyway, he was talking out loud, like, fighting with himself, using these hand gestures, just, like, very aggressive. I'm just trying to get some mango habanero wings, dog. Like, it really doesn't even have to be this deep. Like, I want some mango habanero wings. That's it. Like, I really like that mango habanero wings from Wingstop. I just want to get the flat pieces. Okay, that's all I want. Like, that's really all. I just want to get in and get out. But I'm met with so much chaos. So I'm there, seeing this guy hotboxing himself, having to get buzzed into this Wingstop. My car is parked right outside. I could see my car. And my car is getting crowded amongst a few other cars. But I felt like these baby kids were crowding my car in particular. I'm still waiting for my order. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, what do I do? I'm watching my car, glaring at it, making sure they're not like playing ball near my car or like seated on my roof, or the roof of my car. I don't know. So I'm looking, still waiting for my food. Then I noticed these damn kids, baby ass kids, rocking their natural hair. Some of them were rocking their natural hair, but some of them just, did you pick it out this morning? Like, did you even try to just kind of brush it a little bit? Like, come on, dog. Like, you can't just be walking out. I get it. Blackness. Woo, I'm proud to be black. What's the slogan? Slogan? I'm black and I'm proud. That's what I'm thinking of. I get it, but comb your fucking hair. At this point, enough. Jamil Hill. Enough. AOC. Enough. Like, I get it. We want to fight for Black lives and, Black Lives Mattering and yada, yada, yada. But comb your hair. Just run a comb through it. It's okay. You're still black. It doesn't take your blackness away from you. Like, it's just this whole idea of, like, you could just wake up and go and not take any time to put some effort into your appearance, and me calling you out for it, whether I'm a black person or not, is seen as anti-black. No, bitch. Comb your fucking hair. How about that? Comb your hair. Just comb it. Just comb it a little bit. Anyway, these baby ass kids just ghetto. Fuck. Oh my gosh. And I know this word is divisive, but like there's black people and there's ghetto black people. Hello? Are you still listening? There's black people and then there's ghetto black. There's two different classes. There's fucking two different classes. It is what it is. This class that I was witnessing was the ghetto class. Damn. And I teach black kids, right? Like, there's plenty of black kids I teach, but like, I think there's a difference between like Black American kids, of course, and like African kids and just Caribbean kids overall, right? But ghetto infiltrates anywhere, right? You could be of any ethnic background and still be ghetto, right? It doesn't really, like, it's not exclusive to Black Americans, but oftentimes in my experience, historically, it's been a lot of Black Americans that I've experienced as far as ghetto. I'm telling the truth. This may be uncomfortable for me to say out loud, but it is what it is. Like, it's the fucking truth. Everyone that I saw right outside the Wingstop were definitely Black Americans. I promise you they were Black Americans. Hello? So these damn baby kids talking about, I don't know what they were doing. One of them, like some teenage boys, they were like posted up in a way, in a stance that was, it felt like they were about to fight each other or challenge this other black boy. I'm like, oh my gosh, are they about to fight? Really? Like, I'm not trying to wipe blood off my engine. Like, I don't. What do we do? I just want to get my mango habanero wings. Damn, like, I just want to get my mango habanero wings and go. It really is that simple. So I'm there just waiting for something to pop off, just like ready. I don't know what I was going to do, but I was just like, oh my God, what do I don't fucking know. I already paid for my meal. I wasn't going to leave without my meal. But I was watching my car like a hawk. Anyway, I saw these kids throwing something up in the air, and it looked like this red marker. Oh my gosh. I'm like, oh my gosh, why are they throwing shit in the air? Like, what the fuck are they, like, so fucking inconsiderate and oblivious to what's going on? Like, you see cars around, wouldn't you care enough to say, hey, let me not throw this up in the air so that someone's car doesn't get marked up? But of course they don't give a fuck. They don't care about anything else in that moment, at least. So I finally get my order. I walk to my car. I have this meme mug on because, you know, you got to practice that meme mug every time you're in the presence of, like, some type of, like, heavy energy. And I'm already upset anyway because you throwing this red marker up in the air. Very inconsiderate to cars around you. So, of course, what do I see right on my windshield? That red marker. And it was placed there like, I think it just got finished being thrown up in the air, and it seemed like it just landed there. I don't know, but while I was watching, I didn't catch anyone purposely placing it there. So I don't know, but fuck these kids. Fuck these kids. Fuck those kids, and I'm so mad because when I got to my car and I saw the marker, I was like, fuck, like I was clearly angry, so I threw it down on the ground. And I noticed there was some marks right on the edge, like in the black parts of my windshield, on the edge of it. I noticed these dots, these red dots right on my hood. And I'm pissed. And I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I just like rub some water. Instantly it'll go away. No, of course not. Of course it wouldn't be that easy for me. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I use some soap and water, right? I use Dr. Bronner's soap, and it's a pretty great soap. Like, it's not only good for the body, but you could also clean products with it. Like, it's weird. Like, you could use it for anything. So I'm like, okay, bet. I'm gonna put that soap on a little towel, and I'm gonna rub it with water. I'm gonna rub it on my hood. So I do that the following day, and guess what? Nothing happened. Nothing. It was like, bit like nothing happened. So I'm even more pissed. And at this point, I feel like I come to a point in my life, which I'm grateful for, that I just accept things for what they are. Like, I'm not gonna fight with what I can't control. Like, I can't control this, right? This is out of my control. Like, I'm gonna bring it to the shop. Or maybe they just need a powerful car wash, and things will be all right. So I go to the car wash a couple of days later, and maybe I should have went sooner. Maybe it could have been handled even better. But anyway, I went to the car wash a couple of days later. Of course, it's like not a pretty penny, but whenever I go to this car wash, I always get like a regular wash, which is about, I think, $35. But because of this ordeal, these red dots, it was like $175 for the whole service, because they had to use clay bark and wax it, and he was like talking it up like my car is gonna look like it just came off like the dealer, like very fresh, just came off the showcase room, yada yada yada. So I'm like, okay, I'm excited, it's gonna work out. It took a whole 3-4 hour job. So I'm like, okay. I get back to pick it up, and for the most part, it looks good. Like, the red dots are gone for the most part. But you see how I said the most part? Because if you look very closely, the red dots are still there. It's just like very faded off. On the windshield, it is mostly gone, but there's like a little area that has a little bit of that red color. But most of it, you could barely notice, but because I know it's still there, I feel like everyone knows. I feel like it's a big secret nobody's talking about. So anyway, but from a distance, you really can't see it. Even close up, unless you're like looking really, really close up, you could see it. But, for the most part, he did a good job. I'm going to look at the grateful side of things. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful that with the amount that I spend, which is not a lot considering from what he was saying how if I brought it to a body, auto body care shop, they would charge me in the thousands. And I don't know if he was just like kind of scaring me off from doing that, but he was making it seem like it was going to be more money and it's not going to be worth it, really. I haven't gone to an auto body shop yet to get another opinion to see exactly what they could do and if it could really just be like wiped off. I don't know. So I don't know how much that would really cost, like, officially. But from what he was saying it's going to be in the thousands. I'm just like, well, I don't know. It's not a priority right now. And honestly, what did cross my mind for a little bit, for a couple of hours that day, I was like, you know what? Let me just get a new car. Fuck these kids. I'm going to get a whole new car. That'll teach them. No, that's not smart. It's not what I want to do right now. It's not a priority for me to get a new car. I'm really just like almost done paying this car off. And if I was aggressive with paying it off, I would be done paying it off this year. But I'm not in a space where I can be aggressive with doing that, or maybe I just haven't figured out a way to be aggressive doing that. So nonetheless, this car is almost paid off, and I just can't. It's just it doesn't make sense for me to get a whole new car just because of this. And I really do love my car, but I'm just upset. It's annoying. I moved on from it though, because there was a point in time when I was really, really upset. And like was really contemplating on just I'm gonna get a whole new car. That'll show them. That'll show these baby kids. What? Like, that's dumb. Like, I have other financial goals that are very more pertinent than getting a new car because of these like faded away red dots that you really can't see it. So, but me being like OCD borderline, I still see it. Anyway, I'm looking at the grateful side of things. I'm grateful that I was able to pay for that service and it get mostly fixed. And my car does look brand new for the most part. It has a nice feel to it, like this nice wax. He put this nice wax on it. So that was nice. Anyway, all this to say, comb your fucking hair. Like, that's literally... If those baby kids combed their hair, picked it out a little bit, maybe if the security guards downstairs decided to re-braid their hair and not just leave it all, what is it? What's the word? Not fluffy. Just leave it all just like mischieved, okay? Just looking mad mischievous. Maybe if the guy with the afro decided to pick it out a little bit and have fresh twist outs, maybe this all wouldn't result into me getting a service to fully clean my car in hopes that the red dots will disappear. Anyway, how long did I spend talking about natural hair? 47 minutes. But the truth remains. I remember a story came across my timeline of a school in Texas of this young boy. I don't know, he wasn't young, but he was a high school age, I believe. And he moved to a district. He and his family moved to a district. And if you go to that district, if you live in that district, you go to a specific district school. He went to that school and his attendance is now, or his enrollment is now at risk because he's not following guidelines. He's not following school of conduct or just like guidelines in general as a student of that school. And amongst the guidelines is to wear your hair a certain way. Like, let me see if I can find a story, because I don't know how his hair was worn exactly. Let's see, black boy, Texas school hair let's do hair policy. Because what happened? Texas has deeply discriminatory, yada yada yada. Won't change hair policy. Okay. That was 2020 though. This happened like literally this year. Let's see. So, okay. Oh, is this a kid? So in this picture his hair looks fine. Like it was in braids. Okay, Texas high schools deeply discriminatory hair policy prevents black student from attending. Okay, this is the story, I believe. Let's see if I can find what the policy is. Okay, so he's a 17-year-old kid. He moved from Cincinnati. Yeah, he moved from Ohio to East Bernard. And he and his mother were shocked to learn of this rule as he has proudly worn his locks, twists, and braids all his life. The hairstyles are a part of his identity and connected to his ancestors. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. I say that all the time. But what is the policy? Let's go back to the policy. What is the school's policy? Okay. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so the policy goes on to state, this includes but not limited to tall hairstyles. Got it. Tall hairstyles. So tall hairstyles, side swept bang styles, and long hair dangling over shaved sides or shaved back of the head. Got it. This also includes mullets and mullets in the making. Braided hair or cornrows will not be allowed. No extremes in hairstyles. Ooh, okay. There's a lot to unpack here. Let's see. Where can we begin? I think, instantly when you read the story, you think, okay, black boy being hated on at school for wearing his natural hair. This is racist, right? This kid can get an education because his hair. This is racist. This is inherently racist. Now, though that may be true, right? I think two things can be true here. This is also for all students, right? Like, there are plenty of white kids who have the mullet hairstyle. There's Hispanic kids with mullets. There are white kids who wear styles that resemble what this policy states, like the shaved sides or the shaved back of the head. So this is not just for black kids. So yes, the word cornrows will definitely target black girls and black boys. And braided hair, and I think that is kind of extreme. Like, damn, you can't even wear your hair braided up. Like, even what about white girls? Like, white girls wear their hair like French braids. So are they unable to attend school? Like, I do wonder, like, is this fair across the board? Now, if this is the only kid in the school who is being penalized for violating this policy, yet there are a couple of other students who are violating as well, but nothing is done to them, then that is wrong and that is racist. But if he is among the many students who have been penalized for violating this policy, and those other students are not just black, but they're black, Hispanic, white, Indian, then I think ultimately, yeah, it's more of a discriminatory situation rather than a racist thing. This is interesting because I feel like I wonder how his hair was. I'm seeing this picture. So, okay, let's assume that this was how his hair was. And y'all can just look it up. Type in Texas high schools deeply discriminatory hair policy. This is a long type. But, like, type in those words. And it's from a recent article from April 29th, 2022. So it's that article that you see come up. It's from blackenterprise.com, by the way. So, of course, they're going to paint it more as a black issue. I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about this, though, because I just spent 47 minutes talking about comb your fucking hair. Comb your hair. But I think if you comb your hair and it's well maintained, it's well kept, that should be enough to be enrolled at a school and learn as a student, right? Or to be an employee at an establishment. So, it's just one of those things where it could get tricky. It really does get tricky, and you could go down a slippery slope when it comes to stuff like that because, in my opinion, I don't feel like braiding, braids, twists, locks should be seen as unprofessional or unacceptable in any way. But I think, though, if your braids and your locks is looking messy, right? But then again, what's messy to me may not be messy to the next person, right? Like, me ranting for 47 minutes talking about hair may not be of any concern to someone else, right? They may not see it as a big deal as I do. But look, I just think ultimately, just comb your hair, dog. I don't know. So I don't know. When I saw those baby kids right in front of my car, I knew trouble was on the way. Oh, Max, that's so racist. I don't give a fuck. I'm mad because you know what happened? My car had red paint drops on it. Who did it? Oh, it was these baby kids with unkept hair. That's who did it. That's who. It wasn't anybody else. Shit. Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't parked at a white public school at the time of their school release and came across white kids with their beach blonde hair throwing red paint marker up in the air and it dropped on my car. Like, sorry, that hasn't been my experience with white students. It hasn't. But these baby kids, it's different. The fuck? Like, what are we talking about? And shit. So anyway, I will never go back to that street again. Fuck that school. Fuck those kids. I'm mad. Shit. Had I left the establishment, had I left that Wingstop with no dent to my car, with no marks on my car, then I wouldn't be going so hard on them. But because I was put in a position where my possession was violated, I'm going to go in with these words, okay? So I'm going to use my platform and say whatever the fuck I want because you fucked me up, so I'm going to fuck you up. How about that? Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. Shit. Comb your fucking hair. Maybe you wouldn't be throwing things in the air, huh? Maybe that. Okay, let's move on. Enough with hair. Enough. So, Buffalo shooting. There was a shooting that took place in New York a few days ago. Now, what the fuck is going on? I mean, I think, I had to unfollow someone off of Instagram literally today. This morning when I was scrolling through Instagram, I had to unfollow someone, this person, this white woman who I follow, who I just like. I don't know, aesthetically, I like her content because it just is so aesthetically pleasing. Like, it just looks so nice. But I decided to unfollow her yet again. Mind you, and I say yet again for a reason because I unfollowed her before, but I got back to following her like months later because she just kept crossing my mind. I'm just like, I just like how her things look. But the reason why I unfollowed her in the first place was she was always so fucking negative. Like, she was always like ranting about whatever immune compromised disease she had. Oh my God. I sound so insensitive, but dead ass. She will always like talk about another immune compromised condition she was experiencing. Like, she had everything below the sun. She had ADHD. She had not lupus, but what is it? She had fucking something going on. She had something going on with her muscles. She had acne issue. Like, girl, what? And then she was on Accutane for a while, so her body was, of course, adjusting to that. And with Accutane, in case you're not familiar, it starts off bad until it gets better. So her acne was already horrible until like she puts makeup on. But like she would get these cystic acne, like just very bad. Like, damn, girl, what's going on? What are you eating? But even saying that's a trigger for her because she hates when people say that because you don't know what's going on with my body. It's not about my food and, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, yeah, but what are you eating, though? Are you eating a lot of greasy foods? That could be it. That could possibly be the reason why. Or maybe a factor. Not the whole reason, but it could be a factor. It could be. Let's stop acting like it's not. Like, I think with that argument, though, it upsets people because it makes them have to look inward. It makes them have to be like, shit, I have to change? There's not a secret pill for this? No, you just have to adjust your diet. You just have to add this onto your routine. You just like, it's about you. The answer is always within you. So, accepting that as the ultimate truth is difficult, especially when you're so quick to put the blame on everything else. Anyway, she just has really bad acne. She was on Accutane for a while and it finally worked, and her skin looks amazing now. Like, it looks really bad. I mean, it looks really better, much better. So her skin looks better. She's also a woman of, she's not even a big girl, but she had these like body weight issues internally, really, because it's a you problem, right? She always felt like her body wasn't like thin enough or whatever, and she finally accepted her body as it is. And she's not a big girl, but she's one of those people who do promote body positivity. And with body positivity, it has reached a point where it's become sick. Like, no, you shouldn't be positive about your fat ass body. You're going ill. Lose some weight. Okay? And there's a lot of pressure for fat people now to stay fat. Otherwise, if you decide to lose weight for health reasons, right? To live a longer life, to be healthier, to be more productive, you're seen as fat phobic. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Why are we praising fat? Anyway, she is not fat, but she's not a skinny white girl. So she doesn't like, so there's a lot of like internal hate that she's like working through, yada, yada, yada. So she just would complain a lot. Every fucking day is like something going on. It's just like very negative. So I just had to decide. So I decided, like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not following her shit anymore. I decided to go back to following her because I really did like how her feed looks like. Just looked very aesthetically pleasing. And I did like some things that she shared, though. Like, it was just some things I did appreciate. So I've been following her again since. And she was talking about just these past couple of posts. She was like showing her anxiety, and she deals with a lot of anxiety. And like me, I share a lot that I deal with anxiety. But I feel like my anxiety compared to her anxiety, like, this bitch is like insane. Like, shit, like, are you okay? Are you well? Is everything all right? It's like, it's just like a different level anxiety. Anyway, she was experiencing a lot of anxiety and just like very stressed, and she's like crying on the camera, like very affected and very, very, and I'm sensitive, but like she's like very, very sensitive. Like, oh my gosh, like very sensitive, and she's getting so, and I feel like sometimes it's an act. I feel like sometimes with white influencers, they have to present themselves as these woke people, right? Like, I'm on the right side of history. I stand against anti-blackness. I stand against white supremacy, and they have to kind of overexert themselves to let you know that, hey, we're the good whites. It's just very weird. And she's like one of those people who does that. So her past few stories have been about this Buffalo shooting. And because this Buffalo shooting allegedly took the lives of Black people, and this seems to be a racially motivated shooting, she was showing a lot of just like sadness on her Instagram stories about it, and just like very sad about the world that we live in, and yada. It's just like very just like negative again. Like, girl, stop getting so affected and controlled by the media. It's just so weird to me, like how some people are so, like, their day is dictated by the media, by what the news says, by what these organizations conjure up images and slideshows of for us to watch on just a repetitive nature, just for you to be affected by it emotionally and negatively all the time. every time. It's just so weird to me. Like, why are you still getting fooled by this? Like, stop, turn it off. Like, you don't have to be involved with every shooting story that comes up. Like, you don't have to give a I'm with the victim statement every time. Like, you just shut the fuck up. Just post your next recipe. That's it. Anyway, so I decided to unfollow her yet again, and maybe I'll stick to it this time, but it's just like very annoying. Like, I want to have a feed of people who I want to feel good from. You know, I want to feel good from watching your stuff. Like, I want to feel, and it's not to be naive. Like, there's a lot of bad in this world, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bad events happening that explain and justify your complaints. But I feel like if you're always complaining on my timeline, you're either gonna get muted or you're getting an unfollow. Like, and this is my warning. Like, I'm not doing that, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram. You know, I just like to look at things. I like to look at pretty things. So when you're among the feed that is not pretty, does not make me feel pretty, I'm gonna go. And, you know, God bless. God bless. So anyway, this Buffalo shooting, and I said allegedly because, you know, things are just done very meticulously in this world. So who knows if anything is really true, right? You know, crisis actors are real. But, you know, if this is really true, I do, you know, feel sorry for the lives that have been lost and the families who are mourning. So Peyton Gendron, like, what the fuck? What kind of name? Anyway, he's 18 years old. He was arrested Saturday as the main suspect in the shooting. He appears to have live streamed portions of the attack on the online platform Twitch, which is a platform that many people use to live stream as they play games. DJ Academics is a famous Twitch user, and he is among the many who uses it to play games live and to react in live time. And you can gain a following from that. You could get money. Like, literally, people pay you for anything. It's so funny to me. So, hey, if y'all want to donate to this podcast, do so by becoming a patron at patreon.com/godbuiltthis. There's also a link in the show notes where you can donate to the show directly. And yeah, I appreciate all of that. So let me just go ahead and plug that there. But going back to the story, he is, what else? They said they believe was written by the suspect and posted online. So he cited the racist Great Replacement conspiracy theory and credited the anonymous online 4chan community for his radicalization. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that's saying. But they're saying that this was racially motivated. I'm assuming Peyton is a white man. They didn't say that in the description so far. So, but that's my assumption. What else? The suspect wrote that he frequented the weapons section of the site. Okay, so there's a site that he was on. He typically went on that site and he went to the section that focused on weapons. And he was proponent for racist and white supremacist rhetoric. Has been cited by mass shooters as a place they visited, yada, yada, yada. Let's see, what else is in this story? And this is on Reddit, apparently. So on Reddit, he is a part of different channels and different communities that promote racist rhetoric, that promote white supremacist rhetoric, and that also promote gun favoring rhetoric. Now, I think this may be an agenda push as well. Like, I think two things can be true. I think lives may have been lost if this is, true. And I think this is also a push to take away our guns as citizens. I'm saying our, like I have my own gun. I don't. Not yet, at least. Eventually, I think I will. But, hasn't been a priority yet. But yeah, I think this is just a way for the government to take away our guns. I don't want to live in a world where citizens can't defend themselves. Like, I don't want to be okay with that. I don't want us to just, like, give up our guns because it's a safe. No, it's not. I don't want us to become Australia. I don't like that. I like the option to fight back. And sure, there are other weapons you could use, right? A knife, right? A lamp. But a gun is pretty quicker. It's a bit quicker to get it done, right? So I'm an advocate for gun owners, for gun wearers. I'm an advocate for self-defense. And, just shut the fuck up. Like, this has nothing to do with any, like, I feel like, this is an isolated incident, but it shouldn't lead to now everyone who owns a gun can or must give it up. No, like, stop. Like, this is an unfortunate event that took place, and that's that. Like, that's really just that. A prevention of that does not mean to take away our guns. Like, that still remains. Like, I still stand on that. Like, okay. Anyway, speaking of guns, I have unfortunate news. Just last episode, I talked about my support of the Casey and Vicky White love story, but it ended in demise. Y'all. I was so taken aback. I was really into this story. I was really into just, like, all the commentary on it, and the new developments that took place very quickly. And for it to end the way that it did, I'm just very, very disturbed. It's one thing to get caught by the police, right? And to finally get taken back into custody. But to die is just like, damn. Could have been a different ending. But apparently it was an accident. So let me read what I came across. So, where is it? Officers had been surveilling the Indiana motel where they were staying when the couple got into a Cadillac, kicking off a mile-long pursuit that ended when U.S. Marshals basically rammed the vehicle and pushed it into a ditch. Damn. And dash cam footage shows deputies, quickly handcuffing Casey White, who was wearing sunglasses, black pants, yada, yada, yada. Casey White had told officers that his wife, they were never married, but anyway, he called her his wife. He said that his wife had shot herself as he was taken into custody. A spokesperson for the U.S. Marshal Service confirmed to Fox News Digital on Tuesday. And so it is. Now, when he says she shot herself, initially I thought it was an accident, because I think, with the explanation of the cop car ramming them from behind and pushing them into a ditch, I think if Vicky White shot herself, it must have been by accident. But I figure if she's a woman who's obviously well versed in shooting and guns, like, I would think she knows what to do and what not to do. Like, how does one who is well versed in guns shoot herself by accident? So that was, I don't know. But yeah, my initial thought was that it was an accident. Accidents happen even if you're well versed in guns, so maybe it just was an accident. But I'm also hearing reports that she purposely shot herself. Like, she decided to end her life. So yeah, that shot that was had, it was fatal. And she is no longer with us. Like, this is actually a really sad ending. The officers then attempted to get Vicky White out of the destroyed car, Fingers on the trigger, another officer said. No, she has a gun in her hand, one officer said. Fingers on the trigger, another officer said. Once the gun was removed, an officer went in and pulled Vicky out through the sunroof. She was transferred to a local hospital and succumbed to her injuries that evening. Okay. The Whites were in possession of at least 4 handguns, an RI-15, and $29,000 in cash, which is really not a lot of money. She initially had $91,000 from equity from her house. I don't know. So I wonder what they did with the rest of that money. We later find out that had they not done that, the fugitive was going to engage in a shootout with law enforcement. He said that he was probably going to have a shootout at the stake of both of them losing their lives. So they was going to go out regardless. You know what? After reading the rest of this, I think Vicky probably thought, you know what? It's better for me to just die than to be in prison. She obviously was in prison as the assistant director. Or no, she was a high-ranking corrections officer at the Lauderdale County Jail. So she knows the ins and outs of prison. She knows the life in prison for prisoners. She knows what they go through. And she probably decided, look, it's better for me to be dead than to be an inmate. And that says a lot. That says a lot. It really says a lot. And I think sometimes we don't have sympathy for inmates because it's like, well, you did the crime, you did the time, and why should I care about you? You know, you robbed me, you killed my loved one, you raped someone. Why should I care if you sleep in a well-heated cell, right? Why should I care if you are being fed proper nutrients? I don't know. I think, human decency is human decency regardless. Like, I think, jail should still be present and it should still be well kept. Like, but anyway, so she decided that it's better for me. I'm better off dead. So I do think she purposely shot herself. And though she was alive when they took her from the destroyed car, she succumbed to her injuries and passed away in the hospital. It's a sad ending. It really is. I was rooting for them. I really was. Now obviously this is not an ideal love story. It's not. But I look at it in the context of, look, this is a woman who was divorced for many years. She has not been in a serious relationship since her divorce. She probably was celibate involuntarily for many years. And as an employee at any workplace, you spend a lot of time at your job than you do anywhere else, right? Like, you spend more time at work than you do at home, than you do anywhere else. Like, you spend a lot of time at work. And there are other people at work. Like, you're not working by yourself. There are other people at work. And you may find yourself attracted to someone else at work. In this case, it wasn't a colleague. It was an inmate. It is what the fuck it is. Like, so I'm attracted to you. What now? And you like me back. Obviously, you don't have much of a choice. And he probably awakened something in her that has been dormant for years. And she just thought to herself, look, I'm at an age in my life where I really want to pursue happiness, and you make me happy. And so let's go off into the distance together. Let's beat this joint. So that's what happened. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. I'm sorry to see that she passed, and the story ends here. I haven't heard another development of the story as far as like what is gonna happen with Casey White. Like, is he going to now just simply finish his sentence, or is it added on to his sentence? Like, that fucking sucks. Like, should have shot me too, bitch. Better off dead. Better off. Anyway, I'm going to end it here, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate every listen. If you want to support this podcast, please check out the link in the show notes. And you can support it with any donation of your choice. And you can also be a patron, which you will have exclusive content to God Built This Podcast. So check out our Patreon. Click the link in the show notes and you'll see the different access points that you can be a member of, if that is of your interest. But again, I appreciate every listen. If you just want to listen on any platform, I appreciate that. And I also appreciate leaving me a 5-star review, subscribing to any platform that you listen to this podcast on, telling a friend, leaving not just like leaving me 5 stars, but like leaving a comment, leaving a review, writing down your review of why you like this podcast, why you love this podcast. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you in advance for doing that. And I will check in with you all next time. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to leave a review, give me 5 stars, and of course, subscribe. Also, follow God Built This Podcast on Instagram at God Built This Pod. God bless.